Hey, how about a little story time before we get into my NFL predictions? All right, so about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was a senior in high school, one of my classmates walks up to me at the beginning of class, hands me a little action figure, and he's like, "Hey, I found this. He kind of looks like you." What does he hand me? He hands me the fat kid from frickin' Recess, Mikey Blumberg. Yeah, you know the guy that eats chocolate bars, frickin' writes poetry and sings in the bathroom? Yeah, he frickin' found this in his home, frickin' gave it to me, and he's like, "Hey, this kind of looks like you." He's also wearing a white t-shirt, and I'm also wearing a white t-shirt right now, so that's kind of helping his case. Anyways, I've never been so flattered and offended at the same time. All right, what a positive and uplifting intro. What up, everyone? It's Matt Mamba, and we're going to be having a little NFL predictions video. I kind of did this. I found this website called playoffpredictors.com. It goes through every single regular season game. You pick who you think's going to win. You end up with how the playoffs are going to seed up, how the standings are going to be for each division. And I kind of did it, went all the way from week 1 to who the Super Bowl champion's going to be, and I'm going to reveal my picks right now so I can look really dumb at the end of the season, and maybe I'll react to how terrible these picks are or how much of a genius I am. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. All right, so let's just get started with the AFC North. In last place in the AFC North, I got the Cincinnati Bengals going 4-12, 1-5 in the division. Andy Dalton's still their quarterback. AJ Green is slowly disintegrating, and they're slowly ruining the rest of his career. Their offensive line isn't very good. Their defense is kind of a joke, but Joe Mixon's probably the best thing about this team. I got them going 4-12 in a very tough division. Bengals, stop with the Andy Dalton and start rebuilding. In third place in the AFC North, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not super confident in Lamar Jackson's ability to throw the ball. I'm not so sure if he's going to be able to just rely on his scrambling abilities. But the Ravens are still a solid team. Their defense is a little worse than last year. They lost a lot of big pieces like C.J. Mosley, Terrell Suggs, a few others. I got them going 8-8, 3-3 in the division. Maybe if they were in an easier division, they might sneak into the wild card. But 8-8, they're still a solid team. In second place, I have the Cleveland Browns going 11-5, 3-3 in the division. This is a young team. You got Baker Mayfield, Colin Cowherd's love child. You got frickin' Odell Beckham. You got Jarvis Landry. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the second half of the season. They got a ton of weapons. Their defense is a lot better. It's just a very young team. They're still going to make a lot of mistakes, but they're just so talented. I think they're still going to go 11-5, get a wild card spot. But I just don't think they're good enough to take over the Big Ben reign that he still has on this division. I still think the Steelers are going to win this division by going 12-4. I got them going 5-1 in the division. This is the Antonio Brown is finally gone freaking celebration party. The drama is pretty much gone. I mean, you still have Big Ben, who's kind of stupid, but defense is solid. Offense still has a lot of weapons, even without Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I still think this is a really good team, and I think this is pretty much their last hurrah season of the Big Ben reign of this division before the Cleveland Browns, or maybe even the Ravens, or maybe the Bengals if they ever figure out that they're a team in the NFL. To take over the AFC North, but right now I have the Steelers coming in first place still. Up next, we got the AFC South. This division is wide freaking open, and it's even more open than it was before now that Andrew Luck is retired. In last place, I have the Tennessee Titans going 4-12, 1-5 in their division. Marcus Mariota can never stay healthy, and even when he is healthy, he's very inconsistent. Derrick Henry, another inconsistent player on this team. Corey Davis, is he going to finally step up as a number one receiver? Delaney Walker, he's getting older. He's had a lot of injuries. This defense is pretty solid, and I think they're going to keep him in a lot of games. The Titans are an okay team. They're kind of in between rebuilding, and maybe we should just start over again. I got them going 4-12, 1-5 in the division. In third place, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I did this whole thing before Andrew Luck announced his retirement, and I had him winning the division going 10-6. But with Andrew Luck now gone, I got him going 6-10, 3-3 in the division, finishing in third place. Jacoby Brissett, I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I just don't. He's not Andrew Luck, all right? But this team is still really good. They got a solid offensive line, a decent running game with Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines. You still got T.Y. Hilton. You still got Eric Ebron. You got a young receiver that I really like in Paris Campbell. Their defense is a lot better. It's going to keep them in the division hunt for a long time for the majority of the season, but I think 6-10, 3-3 in the division. They come in third place. Finishing in second in the division, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars going 8-8, 4-2 in the division. It's going to be a really close battle between them and the Texans, but Nick Foles, not the most reliable quarterback for an entire 16-game season. I still think he's a really solid quarterback. The defense is obviously very good. Leonard Fournette's a big question mark about whether he can stay healthy or not. You got some solid weapons in D.D. Westbrook. Jacksonville, I mean, they're just a solid team. I don't know if their defense is going to be able to take them all the way to the playoffs again. It's going to be very close, but I do have the Texans winning this division with a pathetic record of 8-8. Yeah, they had the tiebreaker over the Jaguars. They also went 4-2 in the division. But I got Houston winning this division. This is really a mixed bag. Deshaun Watson, I still think he's a solid quarterback. Not totally sold on him. I've said before, I think DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Losing Lamar Miller is a huge blow, but they signed Carlos Hyde, and they have Duke Johnson, who's not really an every down back. Their defense is still solid, but they lost Clowney. They did gain Laramie Tunsil to get a little protection for Deshaun Watson. I just don't think that's going to be enough. Well, I mean, I guess it is enough, but they're not really a Super Bowl contender. They're 8-8. They snuck into the freaking playoffs, winning this division, but I don't really think they're going to last long in the playoffs. Moving on to the AFC East. In last place, I don't think this should come as much of a shock. I got the Miami Dolphins coming in last place. I got them going 2-14 overall. I got them going 2-4 in the division. Ryan Fitzpatrick's their quarterback. He might give them a win or two, but then defenses will have time to prepare for him. Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to go back to being the mediocre person that he is. I think they'll throw Josh Rosen into a fire he's not ready for. He's basically on the same boat as he was with the Cardinals his rookie season. He's stuck with another bad team. Kenny Stills was a solid weapon, but they traded him away. It's not going to be a pretty season for the Dolphins. They have a solid defense. Their running attack's pretty good. I don't think they're going to... They'll be lucky if they win 2 games. In third place, I have the Buffalo Bills going 4-12. Josh Allen's a big question mark for me. How much is he going to improve with his accuracy? I know he's pretty dangerous with his legs, but he's got to gain some accuracy if he wants to have any kind of success in the NFL. The Bills, they just traded away LaShawn McCoy, but they have this young running back Singletary that they're pretty sold on. They still have Frank Gore, so they still have an old running back in him, and I'm pretty sure they have TJ Yeldon as well. But defense is pretty good. I think it's a decent team, but I mean, they're still the third worst team in this division. It's still going to be a really long season for Bills fans. In second place, just barely missing the playoffs, I have the New York Jets. I think I got them going 9-7, 3-3 in the division. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a decent year. Colin Cowherd's going to be really excited and probably say he's better than Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers combined. But Sam Darnold got a lot more weapons this year than he did last year. Le'Veon Bell's on this team now. They got some receivers. I think they picked up Jamison Crowder. They have Robbie Anderson. Got some talent on the defense. They signed C.J. Mosley, so their defense is going to be a little better. They still play against the Patriots twice a year. They're still a pretty young team. I don't think they're ready for the playoffs just yet, but I think this will be a pretty good year for the Jets. They'll be in the playoff hunt for the entire regular season. I got them going 9-7, just missing the playoffs. And, of course, big shocker, in first place of the AFC East, I have the New England Patriots winning. I got them going 14-2, 5-1 in the division. Not too sure who I gave the one loss to. But this team is better than last year's Super Bowl team. Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. He's not going to change. Freaking a great rushing attack with Sony Michel. You still got James White, Rex Burkhead. You got a great rushing attack that Bill Belichick can use. Great weapons. You got Josh Gordon back, at least for now. Demaryius Thomas, who I think is going to have a really good year. You still have Julian Edelman. You lost Gronk, but I think they have Dwayne Allen. Not too sure. I'm pretty sure it's Dwayne Allen, but I'm not too sure who else they have at tight end. But I'm pretty sure Josh Gordon, Demaryius Thomas, Julian Edelman. That's 3 great receivers right there. Their defense got a little better. They're still a really good defense. This is a good Patriots team, and it wouldn't surprise me if they won it all this year. Moving on to the final AFC division, we got the AFC West. In last place, I have the Denver Broncos finishing 4-12, 1-5 in the division. Elite Joe Flacco, get ready for those checkdowns. Get ready for a lot of deep, not even close completions. Joe Flacco's really not anywhere where he used to be. He's a decent quarterback. He's a decent freaking field manager, but in this division, he's not going to get anywhere. He'll win a couple games. They're kind of stuck with him now that Drew Lock's out for the year, I believe. And it's going to be a long season. Phillip Lindsay's pretty good. They got Royce Freeman as well in that backfield. Their defense is still really solid. Manuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton as weapons for the receiving core. It's not a bad team. It's just they're not. It's going to be tough for them to win games. In third place, I have the Oakland Raiders, not too far behind. I got them going 5-11, 2-4 in the division. This all really depends on what kind of Derek Carr we see. That one year where Derek Carr was really good and led him to the playoffs before he got hurt. we haven't really seen that Derek Carr come back. Not too sure what he can do. He's got Antonio Brown for now, at least until his feet are not frozen and his helmet is suitable for his needs. The running game, I think, what's his name? Josh Jacobs, the Alabama running back. I think he'll be a really solid running back. I think that'll be fine. Other receiving weapons other than Antonio Brown, I'm drawing a blank right now. They lost Jared Cook, lost Jordy Nelson. They have Antonio Brown. I mean, their defense is okay, I guess. This Raiders team's, I mean, Gruden is not worth the money just yet. In second place in this division, I have the second wild card spot going to the Los Angeles Chargers. I got them going 10-6, 3-3 in the division. I had them a little better, but the Melvin Gordon holdout's still a thing. So it either seems like Melvin Gordon's going to miss the entire season or he's going to be traded to a different team. So I'm kind of factoring this Chargers team without Melvin Gordon as their running back. I got them going 10-6. I think Phillip Rivers, still a really good quarterback. They have great weapons. Hunter Henry's back. Keenan Allen, as long as he can stay healthy, is really good. Mike Williams seems to be a really good receiver. Their defense is still really solid. I think this is still a really good team. And honestly, I mean, I don't have them as a Super Bowl contender, but hey, if they made a Super Bowl run, I mean, I can kind of see it. This Chargers team's solid, but in first place, I got the Chiefs rolling on by to win this division, going 14-2, 6-0 in the division. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, if he can do anything even close to what he did last year, this is still going to be a really good team. They just signed LaShawn McCoy. They still have Damian Williams and one other running back that's solid. You got Tyreek Hill, as long as he doesn't beat anyone else up and get away with it. They still have Travis Kelce, arguably the greatest tight end in the game. Their defense is really going to be the factor, but I think their offense is just so high-powered that their average to mediocre to trash defense won't stop them from winning too many games. They're going to win 14-2. Got the 2 seed in the playoffs. Let's move on to the NFC. All right, we're in the NFC now. We're going to start with the NFC North. In last place, I have the Detroit Lions going 6-10, 2-4 in the division. I think the Lions are a solid team. They're kind of in that weird middle spot where they have Matthew Stafford, so they really don't want to just rebuild everything because they only have a few years of him left. And they're kind of in that spot where they're like, okay, yeah, we're kind of not competing at all and we need to rebuild. They're in that weird middle road that they're in. They're going to go 6-10. I think they're a solid team. I just don't think they're anywhere close to the playoff implications that they want to be in. They have Kerryon Johnson coming back from injury. Last year, I think he'll be a solid running back. You got Marvin Jones. You got Kenny Golladay, 2 solid tight ends. They got a rookie tight end that I don't know how he's going to do. They signed Mike Daniels from my Packers. We'll see how he does on that defense. I think their defense is okay. This is a team that could really beat some really good teams, and they're also a team that can make some really dumb mistakes and probably lose to a lot of teams that they should beat. I got them going 6-10. Still a solid record, but nowhere close to winning this division. In third place, I have the Kirk Cousins-led Minnesota Vikings. I think they're a pretty good team. Their defense is solid. Their offense is solid. I just don't think Kirk Cousins is good enough to beat the other 2 teams in this division. I got them going 9-7, 3-3 in the division. You got Dalvin Cook as their running back. Not totally sold on him, but I think if he can stay healthy, he can have a lot of volume and still be a solid running back. Obviously, the wide receiver tandem of Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen is really good. Kyle Rudolph's still a really solid red zone threat. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. I just don't think he's going to be able to send him to the playoffs, especially with the Bears and Packers being pretty good teams. In second place, I have the Packers. My Packers going 11-5, 3-3 in the division. I think they're going to kind of struggle in the division. I think this is going to be a lot better. This all depends on if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in any way, this Packers team is terrible. Their backup is Tim Boyle, I think is his name. It's not going to be pretty if Aaron Rodgers goes down. Aaron Jones, I think, is going to have a great season. And if he somehow goes down, if he somehow goes down, you still have Jamal Williams. In a rookie, they got Dexter Williams, I believe is his name, from Notre Dame. I think that'll be fine, but I really like Aaron Jones. I hope he stays healthy and plays a full year for the first time. Devontae Adams is an elite receiver. We'll see how this young receiving core steps up with Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Geronimo Allison, Jake Kumaro. So we'll see how that works. Jimmy Graham, hopefully he has a bounce-back year. The defense got a lot better. They made some nice free agency pickups. Adrian Amos. They got that guy from the Ravens, Preston Smith. They got guys like Kevin King coming back, Jair Alexander coming back. I think this Packers team could make a Super Bowl run, but I'm biased as heck, so don't really take my opinion on that. But I do have the Chicago Bears winning this division, also at 11-5, but I have them with the tiebreaker. They're 4-2 in the division. This Bears, Mitch, I'm not sold on Mitch Trubisky, but I think he's a good enough game manager, and I think this defense is the best defense in the NFL. You still got Tariq Cohen and whatever that other running back they have. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. You got some solid receivers if Allen Robinson can stay healthy. Anthony Miller seems like a really good young receiver. And what do I have to say about this Bears defense? I mean, they're the best defense in the NFL. They have Khalil Mack. They have Roquan Smith. They have freaking Eddie Goldman. This Eddie Jackson. This defense is stacked. This is a really good team. But it kills me to say it, but I got the Bears winning this division. I do have them winning Week 1 against the Packers, but whatever. Hope I'm wrong about that. All right, we're moving on to the NFC South. In last place, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 5-11, 1-5 in this division. I really don't know what to make of this team. A few years ago, I would have told you Jameis Winston, really promising young quarterback. I think this team could be really good. But Jameis just hasn't been able to stay consistent. He got benched by Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. I mean, if Jameis can get it together somehow, that would be awesome, and this Buccaneers team would actually be a really fun team to watch. But I just don't have the most trust into Jameis Winston. This defense, don't know too much about it. I don't think it's really that good of a defense. Their running game's kind of a question. You don't know how that's going to do, but they got great receiver in Mike Evans, one of the best and most underrated receivers in the game. Got a talented tight end in O.J. Howard. I think it's a solid team. I don't see him keeping up at all in this division. In third place, I got the Carolina Panthers going 8-8. Cam Newton sustained an injury against the Patriots in the preseason, so not too sure about his health, but I'm pretty sure he'll play most of this year, if not all of it. But I got him going 8-8, 2-4 in the division. Christian McCaffrey, a great weapon, great running back. DJ Moore is their number one receiver, I believe. Not too sure about that. They got Greg Olsen coming back. He's a reliable guy, but he's getting a little up there in age. Their defense is solid, but I think the two other teams are just really good. In second place, getting the first wild card spot, I believe. No, the second wild card spot. I got the Atlanta Falcons going 13-3, 5-1 in the division. This surprised me, but I was going through their schedule, and I'm like, I just keep giving the Falcons wins. I thought this team really improved over the offseason. Their defense got a little better. Their offense is still really good. A lot of people are still sleeping on them. A lot of people are starting to hate on Matt Ryan. I still think he's a really good quarterback. You're getting Devontae Freeman back. You still have Julio Jones. You got Calvin Ridley. Austin Hooper's a solid tight end. I think their defense got a little better. I think this Falcons team, everyone's really overlooking them. I think they got a really good offense, and I don't think their defense is going to hurt them too much this year as they did last year. Got them going 13-3, 5-1 in the division. This is a scary team. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to the Super Bowl. But number one in the AFC South, I still have the New Orleans Saints. I do think this is really their last year to do it. They still have Drew Brees. I still think he's still an elite quarterback. I got him going 14-2, 4-2 in the division. Michael Thomas, still an elite receiver. A little worrisome that they only have Michael Thomas. They don't really have anyone else. They have Ted Ginn, I guess. Alvin Kamara is going to take over as the lead back. They have Latavius Murray kind of playing Mark Ingram's role that he played last year. New Orleans' defense is still really good. They have a really good shot of winning it this year, and hopefully they don't get boned in the playoffs like they did with the Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs touchdown and the missed pass interference call against the Rams. So will this be the Saints here? I don't freaking know, but they're a really good team. Moving on to the NFC East. In last place, I have the Washington Redskins going 4-12, 2-4 in the division. Right now, I think, is Colt McCoy their starting quarterback? No, it's Case Keenum. It's Case Keenum's their starting quarterback. Not too sure about Dwayne Haskins. I really loved him in college on Ohio State. I thought he was a really good quarterback, and I really liked him coming into the season. But preseason, he looked a little shaky. He'll have a rough rookie season if he gets any playing time, which I think he will. Adrian Peterson's still their running back. They have Darius Geis coming back from injury. Receivers, who do they have? They lost Crowder. They lost Josh Doxson. They have Jordan Reed at tight end, but kind of drawing a blank on who they have at receiver. Their defense, I'll be honest, I don't know much about it, so I'm just going to guess they're mediocre or average. This Redskins team, they need to rebuild. They're not really anything this year, and I think they're even worse than the Giants, obviously. So in third place, I have the New York Giants going 6-10, 3-3 in the division. I don't think Eli Manning's gonna be the starter for very long in this season. I think at most we'll see Eli play 6 weeks, and I think that's generous. I think Daniel Jones has looked pretty solid, surprisingly solid in the preseason. No one really expected everyone thought that pick of Daniel Jones was a joke, but I thought he looked pretty solid in the preseason. Saquon Barkley, arguably, I guess you could argue he's the best running back in the league. An explosive talent. You have Evan Ingram, a great tight end. You also have Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate once he comes back from suspension, I believe. That'll be a solid number 2 guy. Their defense is a little questionable. I got them going 6-10. I don't know. I was just looking through their schedule, and I thought they could win a few games. As long as Eli Manning, I mean, unless Eli comes back to like 4 or 5 years ago, Eli Manning, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think Daniel Jones will be a solid quarterback. I think the Daniel Jones hype will get a little crazy this season. But yeah, that's what I got the Giants going. In second place, I got the Dallas Cowboys actually missing the playoffs with a record of 10-6, going 4-2 in the division. So Skip Bayless is not going to be really happy with the Dallas Cowboys going 10-6 and missing the playoffs. I'm sure he's going to point to one game where they should have won, or I guess a penalty wasn't called. I digress. But they're going 10-6. They're just going to barely miss the playoffs. I think they're a solid team. I'm just not sold on Dak Prescott. I know a lot. There's a surprising amount of people that support Dak Prescott. I think he's a fine quarterback. He's got his legs are a good weapon. I just don't trust his decision making. I don't trust his arm. Still have a lot of talent at receiver. You got Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. You stole Randall Cobb from the Packers. They got Jason Witten back. Thank God he's not in the commentating booth. So that's great on its own. Their defense is really good. I really like their defense. This is a good team. I mean, I just don't see Dak Prescott leading them to enough wins to get a wild card spot. I got them going 10-6. I mean, I'm pretty sure Zeke's going to be ready for week 1 as we're speaking, or as I'm making this video. They're pretty close to finalizing a deal. I don't know how legit that is, but I'm pretty sure Zeke will play starting week 1. But Cowboys are a really good team. I just don't think they're good enough to make it to the playoffs with the Falcons and Packers having a better record. And winning this division, I have the Philadelphia Eagles going 12-4, 3-3 in the division. Carson Wentz is a huge question mark. I think Carson Wentz will do fine. This is just a really good team. I don't think Carson Wentz will come back to that 2017 was that year he played really good before he went down. You got Jordan Howard. You got a bunch of running backs. Darren Sproles, I think, is still on their team. You got some good weapons in Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz. Their defense still looks really solid. They added a lot of pieces to the defense that I liked. I think the Eagles are a really good team. They are a Super Bowl threat in my opinion. That is if Carson Wentz can play even kind of like that 2017 season. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will be a really good team. But Carson Wentz is a big if, so maybe if he goes down, then the Dallas Cowboys will actually win this division, but I don't freaking know. Whew, okay, I've been talking for a while, but final division before we get into the playoffs. The NFC West. In last place, I got the Arizona Cardinals going 2-14, 1-5 in the division. Kyler Murray's not going to save this team. I don't care if Kyler Murray's the next Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. He's not going to freaking save this team. This team is a disaster. Oh, my God. The Cardinals are a train wreck. All right, they're going 2-14. I got them going 1-5. They're just throwing a rookie quarterback into the fire. David Johnson's a solid running back if he can stay healthy. Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, that's a solid 2 weapons for Kyler Murray. Their defense, it seems like a joke. I don't really think they have much. They added an old Terrell Suggs. He might add a little bit of leadership, and he still has a little bit left in the tank. Peterson suspended for a little bit, so I don't know exactly how long he's suspended for, but I know he's suspended. This Cardinals team, it's not going to be a good season for Cardinals fans. Yeah, it's going to be rough. In third place in this division, I have the San Francisco 49ers going 4-12, 1-5 in the division. Garoppolo's coming off a torn ACL. Not too sure how he's going to do. We haven't really seen a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he went undefeated in all those games with a great Patriots team, and then he went undefeated in that the last half of the season with the Niners. Then he went down. He's looked a little shaky in preseason. Who's their running back? It's not Jerick McKinnon. It's someone else because he's out for the season. Anyways, their running game's all right. Receivers, do they still have Pierre Garçon? I'm really drawn. Oh, George Kittle. He's a really good tight end. He had a great season. Their defense is all right. This 49ers team just really doesn't impress me. I think they're going 4-12. Yeah, I don't. But I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. Maybe he'll be the next Tom Brady, like everyone was saying. and the Niners will be a freaking playoff team. I don't know. That's why I'm making this video. These are predictions. These aren't facts. Okay, guys? All right, cool. In second place, I have the Seattle Seahawks going 8-8, 4-2 in the division. I think early they're going to get a lot of wins, and they're going to be looking pretty good to get at least a wild card spot, but I think they're going to fall apart near the end of the season. They just acquired Jadeveon Clowney, which I think is a really good pickup. That defense is coming back up. Russell Wilson is an incredible quarterback. I doubted Russell Wilson for a few years, thinking he was just surrounded around a great defense and a lot of weapons, but Russell Wilson's legit. This guy's a great quarterback. But it's just not going to be good enough. The running game, not too sure they're going to be able to replicate what they did last year. Doug Baldwin retired. This team's good. I have mixed feelings about them. I just don't think they're a playoff team this year. But maybe next year they could make a few moves and they could be a Super Bowl contender again. But I have winning this division the LA Rams. I got them going 10-6. I got them going 6-0 in the division. I just saw that. That's kind of crazy. But this Rams team, I think it's not as good as last year. Jared Goff is a fine quarterback. I think he's a little overrated. I still think he's a solid quarterback. Todd Gurley, if he can stay healthy, he's going to get you a bunch of touchdowns. You still got Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp's coming back. Gerald Everett's a solid tight end. They got a lot of weapons. Their defense has a lot of talent. I think this is still a really good team, and this is still a really good team. And honestly, do I think they can go back to the Super Bowl? No, but little spoiler for the playoff predictions. But it's still a really talented team. I think they're really similar to the Cleveland Browns. Like, they're young. They got a lot of talent, but they're just not ready to make to win a Super Bowl yet. So, all right, let's get into the playoffs. All right, let's start with the AFC wildcard round. We got the 4-seeded Houston Texans going up against the 5-seeded Cleveland Browns, and we got the 3-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the 6-seeded Los Angeles Chargers. Texans, like I said before, they were 8-8. I think this Browns team is a lot more talented. They don't have the experience that this Texans team has, but I just think the talent's too good for the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to beat the Houston Texans. Don't really have scores on hand. Let me just say something like 28-20. But yeah, I got the Browns moving on. I think this will be their first playoff win since they came back to the NFL in 1999. So that's going to be pretty exciting, and I'm really happy that the Browns are actually good. The next game, I got the 3-seeded Steelers versus the 6-seeded Chargers. I think this is going to be a really good game. I actually have to see who I picked because, I have the Steelers winning. I think Melvin Gordon really does hurt this team. I think their running attack was a huge part, and it really opened up their passing game. I think the Steelers team, James Conner's a solid running back. Big Ben's got a lot of playoff experience and a lot of playoff wins under his belt. So I got the Steelers. Close game, maybe 24-21 Steelers. Let's just say that. But yeah, I think that'll be a really good game. It could go either way, but for right now, I got the Steelers. All right, moving on to the NFC wildcard round. We got the 4-seeded LA Rams versus the 5-seeded Atlanta Falcons, and this is pretty cool. We got the 3-seeded Chicago Bears going up against the 6-seeded Green Bay Packers. You'll love to see that. But Rams, Falcons, like I said, I really like this Falcons team. I'm not trusting Jared Goff to get a win over Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and if Devontae Freeman's healthy. I tell you what, man, I kind of sound like John Gruden there, but I'm gonna give this win to the Falcons. I got them moving on. I don't know. I think this will be a high scoring game. I got it going let's say 35-28, something like that. And now the Bears Packers. You already know who I'm probably gonna pick. Packers and Bears. I had them splitting the regular season, one game each. This one's in Chicago. You know what? Aaron freaking Rodgers is gonna take over. He doesn't want to lose to the Bears in the playoffs. All right, so he's gonna win this game. This will be another really cool game. I really hope this happens. I really want to see Bears Packers in the playoffs. I'm just trying to think of a score. I can just see it right now. Aaron Rodgers marching him down the field for a game-winning drive to win this thing. Let's go 38-35, something like that. So I really hope that happens. That'll be a fun game. All right, we got the AFC divisional round. We got the 2-seeded Chiefs versus the 3-seeded Steelers, and the 1-seeded Patriots versus the 5-seeded Browns. Chiefs and Steelers, this will be a fun game. I don't think the Steelers have enough talent and don't have a high-powered enough offense to keep up with the Chiefs. I really do have the Chiefs winning this game, getting back to the AFC Championship game. Let's just say 31 to 31-21. Let's just say that. And we got the Patriots-Browns. I know they meet in the regular season, so this will be a fun little rematch. I think I had the Patriots winning the regular season match. And I'm also going to have the Patriots winning the postseason matchup. Browns team's really, they're really young, inexperienced, have a lot of talent. I think they're going to give the Patriots a run for their money. I can already see them exposing the Patriots in the first half. Belichick's going to make his adjustments. Tom Brady's going to make his adjustments. They're going to take over and win this game. Let's say 31-24 Patriots. I think the Browns had a good run. Future's looking good for the Browns, but this is Tom Brady. This is still the Patriots. They're going back to the AFC Championship game. Nothing has changed. Moving on to the NFC divisional round, we have the 2-seeded Eagles versus the 5-seeded Falcons, and the 1-seeded Saints versus the 6-seeded Packers. Eagles, Falcons. This is a big if for me. I mean, this whole season depends on if Carson Wentz can come back to a solid quarterback. I really do think he'll be a solid quarterback. I think this defense is really good. Man, I gotta pick the Eagles. This is gonna be a close one. Let's say, I think this will be a low-scoring game, like 21-17. How about that? All right, Saints, Packers. I like both these teams. Obviously, I like the Packers a little more. I'm gonna pick the Packers, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, okay, he's just biased, and you're probably right. I'm probably just biased. Packers 28, Saints 24, 28-24 Packers. So I know I'm biased, but I love my freaking Packers, so I'm gonna give them the win. All right, we only have 4 teams left. Let's go into the AFC Championship game. A rematch of last year. We got the Chiefs. We got the Patriots. Who's going to come up on top? It's really hard to pick against the Patriots. And they're better than last year. And you could argue the Chiefs are worse than last year. And it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to give the Chiefs the victory over the Patriots. People are going to say, oh, is the Patriots dynasty over? I don't think it is. I think they'll be back next year. But I'm going to give this victory to the Chiefs. Let's say 31 Chiefs, 24 Patriots. Let's say that. I want to keep these games close, but in reality, at least one of these playoffs games is going to be a blowout. NFC Championship game. We got the 2-seeded Eagles versus the 6-seeded Packers. And, oh yeah, I'm taking my Packers to go to the Super Bowl, man. I'm taking them to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're actually going to beat these Eagles pretty soundly. I got it like 38 Packers, let's say 21-24 Eagles. But I think this will be a solid victory for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers back in the Super Bowl. Skip Bayless shedding tears. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Let's just get right into the Super Bowl. Oh, man, I really hope this happens. Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. We're actually going to see that in the regular season. And I actually gave that game to the Chiefs. I think it was in Kansas City. But, man, this will be a fun game if this happens. I'll be so excited. I'm biased as heck. I'm gonna die on this. Packers are winning the Super Bowl. I got this as a really close game, pretty high scoring affair. I think there'll be a few turnovers. I can see Aaron throwing an interception maybe. I can see Mahomes throwing 1 or 2 picks. I can see some fumbles happening. These are young teams. Man, I'm gonna give the Packers the Super Bowl Lombardi Trophy victory. I'm going to give them 28-20. That's the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers are the Super Bowl champs. Aaron Rodgers is your Super Bowl MVP. None of this will probably be right. I'm probably going to look dumb. All right, I got to think of an ending now, but holy cow, I talked a lot. Hopefully this video was kind of interesting. What up, everyone? Matt Mamba, Pro Skater here. I'm gonna look cool for this outro. I'm Matt Mamba. I don't know how to close videos. And I'm out. Look at me. I'm a freaking skater, guys. Jesus. Oh, my toe. Oh, my toe.